All right, we're back. It's the spring split. I'm doing predictions. I think I'm going to do predictions for each of the events, just talk through what each of the teams are looking like, what they're going through, what I think is going to end up happening for the split, as well as the major. Of course, I've always done major predictions videos. So, yeah, let's go ahead. Before we get into these, I almost just sound like a sponsor. It's not a sponsor. We're going to look at the roster moves for North America. Obviously, there's the Beast Mode.com Daniel roster. Daniel's left Space Station, joined version 1. You also have Hawkster joining Space Station in his place. Koi's looking really good. We've just finished, or at least I just finished watching the first day of Gamers 8 qualifiers, and Koi made that kind of miracle run to qualify for the big LAN in Saudi, so good for them. G League, they didn't make the event, so I don't know why they're on here. Same with Team Axel, I believe. Sup also didn't make the event, if I'm remembering. No, Sup did make the event. We'll find out. Nefarious is there. Flitz feels bad. And none of these teams, or Hebro actually made it. So at the bottom of the list, still there. So yeah, these are the notable roster changes in North America. We had to go pretty deep into the bubble scene for them to actually make this graphic, which kind of says a lot. But these are like the main 4 I would pay attention to right here. That being said, let's get into it. FaZe Clan is not going to drop a single game to Hebro. Space Station M80, I'm going to come back to this. This is a personal one for me. I'm going to come back to it. I can't do it right now. Genji Furia. Furia's looked pretty good, except they haven't looked pretty good at the same time. I'm still giving it to Genji. I'll give him 4 games. I think this area is very stacked. You got Genji, Furia, Dignitas, NRG. All of these teams are teams that are going to be pushing for the major. Obviously, Dignitas made the winter major, kind of on a surprise run. They'll still be trying to go for it again, obviously. NRG is looking to regain. Furia is always looking to regain, and Genji is Genji. So the fact that one of these teams is going out 13th through 16th is kind of absurd. That being said, I am going to believe in the NRG regain, at least against Dignitas. So a little surprising there. Complexity is not going to have any problems with 0 to 1. Version 1's Shopify, I don't anticipate there being... Actually, I'll give this a 0. I don't anticipate there being problems here. Sup did make the main event. They're facing G2. They're going to get smacked. No disrespect to Sup. I just think G2 is that much better. Optic and Koi, this one's kind of exciting. Koi is looking on the up and up. They've got that old Knights core of Sosa and Cheese, and they've added Gyro. They made the Saudi land. Good for them. I'm giving it to Optic in 4. You got to trust the process. I have to go back and do this one. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm not taking a minute to stop talking. Space Station's obviously my favorite team. I'm very biased in this. M80 had a really good run. I thought Space Station was better than M80 all throughout the fall split. M80 did go 3-0 through qualifiers to make it here, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am. Space Stations looked a little off. They barely missed out on qualifying for the Saudi LAN, as I did just watch that final series against Optic, and yes, I'm still hurt. I think if Space Station beat M80, they're in a good spot for this regional. If they don't, I get a little bit more concerned. It has to go to 5. I'm gonna give the edge to Space Station, and I'm gonna get clowned on if we lose this. If we lose this series, I still think we can make top 8. It's gonna get a lot harder because we'll have to face Optic. But if we do beat M80, I like our chances in this regional, and you'll see why. So going through this, I'm not delusional. I would love for us to upset FaZe, but I cannot in my right mind predict that. Dazzrin is lucky this is in the upper quarterfinals instead of the lower round 1. I'll give NRG 1 game. Complexity versus version 1. We saw this in Gamers 8. I'll kind of go with the same result, 3-1 to version 1. I know it was a 5-game series then, but you had some 2v2 and 1v1 mixed up in that. I just smacked my microphone. I know. And so I will have version 1. G2 and Optic, we saw this in Winter Invitational. It was kind of a smackdown by G2, and I'd expect really no different. I'll give Optic 1 game, but I have G2 pretty cleanly into the upper semifinals. All right, time for the lower bracket, and we also still see all this on Friday. So while I'm at work, that's going to be tragic, especially if we lose to M80, because then... Anyways, Hebro versus M80, this is not going to be close. I'm happy for Hebro and that they qualified. I don't see them doing any damage in this regional. Furia versus Dignitas. Now, this is kind of interesting. If we go way back to the top 16 invitational to start the season, Dignitas took down Furia in order to make it in that round 5. Now, that was a Dignitas with Delta, and it was a Furia with Kaio. But there's a little bit of history there. That being said, I'm going to have Furia winning this. I'll have it in 5 to give some respect to Dignitas. But yes, I do have the 5 seed from NA at the Winter Major going out last in their first event. It feels bad. I wanted them to do better, but they have an impossible bracket to deal with. 0-1 Shopify. I can see 0-1 actually making this close. That's one where I think Shopify is going to be a little scared that they're going to get upset by a team who's it's their first regional, but they'll just barely pull it out. Koi versus Sup. I don't think this will be close. I think it'll be the one has to go here. I'll give Sup a game. And then this is looking scarier now that Koi have pulled off the upset against Complexity. This is looking a lot scarier. I'll start up here, though. Optic, M80, you have to trust the process. M80 did take down Optic in that very first regional that they qualified for as M80, but I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be a 3-1. Optic gets top 8 yet again. I think Optic is going to thrive in this format, and they're going to do a lot better this split. Complexity versus Furia. This one's kind of exciting. Surprised to see Complexity this low in the bracket, given their recent success. And I think Furia will be surprised to see them too. I'll make it go 5, but Furia goes out 9th through 12th. And it's kind of tragic for them. NRG Shopify. Do I put NRG in the top 8? I think it's time. I think Shopify will be a little kind of dazed from this, and they won't look as good, and NRG will get top 8. One thing about double elimination is that it's hard to actually predict some of these upsets, and therefore, like, the teams that you would expect to make top 8 actually do. And it's a little interesting that way, I guess. Space Station Koi. I don't like this matchup. I don't. I'm not talking stylistically. I just know Koi's been kind of on a tear. They've been on the upswing. I could see this being a series where Koi starts to make a name for themselves again. I want to jinx us. I want to jinx us so badly. But I did predict Carmine Core to win the major. So I can't, man. I can't. 3-2. It'll give me a heart attack, but it'll happen. And this is why I liked our odds, right? Because we're getting NRG or Dignitas based on who wins that series. And so I think we can make a top 6. I can't believe I have one of these teams making a top 6. I'm about to put us top 6. I swear, I was coming into this video and I was like, I'm not going to put Space Station top 6. I'm not going to do it, especially after watching them just lose to Optic, but I think I might be about to do it. Regain for Gen G, I'll have it go 6, but they take down FaZe. Version 1 G2, I think this will be a smackdown. I think this will be, oh my gosh, this team's going to be unstoppable. And they'll just smack G2 to the lower bracket. Optic versus Complexity. I might be I'm trusted. Oh, this is a best of 5. I trust the process. I'm not gonna lie. I really trust the process. I think Optic is gonna give me a scare. Or wait, I can't. I said no. It can't base off off-season tournaments, but I'm basing it off the Winter Invitational. I'm not basing it off of off-season tournaments. Anyways, Space Station NRG. I'm giving it to NRG because I don't want to predict it's going too far and then look like an idiot and a biased fan. Because that is absolutely what would happen if I predicted us top 6, and then you would find me crying on my way home from work on Friday. FaZe Optic, classic matchup. It doesn't matter. It's 4-1. Sorry, Optic, your miracle run ends here yet again, but you're in a great spot for LAN, obviously. NRG also in a great spot for LAN here. I'm not liking where this is putting us in terms of, Worlds qualification, but we'll get past that. G2 versus NRG, 4-2. I'll make it competitive, I'll make it competitive. Gen G version 1. This is going to be a banger, but it's going to be Gen G finding the resurgence. FaZe Clan versus G2. I'll have it 4-1. This will be G2 actually kind of getting hyped and then getting smacked by FaZe and being like, oh, we're not quite at the top yet anymore. FaZe versus version 1. It's going to be the, losers bracket curse. No one ever wins this matchup after dropping down except for Team Liquid in Regional 2 of last year. But it just doesn't happen. And then am I gonna have FaZe? I think I got FaZe winning the first regional after dropping to Gen G early. So yeah, that's a pretty exciting bracket. Let's look at the RLCS points and what happened afterwards. That would be FaZe reclaiming the lead or claiming the lead in NA by 1 point, which I do kind of like, honestly. G2 is still in a fine spot. These guys catching up, but what I would worry more about is the spring split points, which would put one of them at LAN. That's coming from the Space Station fan side of me. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. I know I talked really fast. I'll do one of these for Europe. I'm a little less knowledgeable about the region, but it'll still be fun. Plus, there's some wild roster changes, so my predictions will be nowhere near right, and it'll be super fun. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe. Subscribe if you want. I'll be around.